Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm going to teach you a game today. This is a game that will teach a dog that something else that you do, a gesture, a voice, a movement, the environment, a smell, a sight, something that happens is a cue for the dog to perform a behavior that they know already and they were previously reinforced for. For example, if your dog knows a down, and it could be that your cue for the dog to lie down is you saying down. Or maybe you gesture your dog down like this, or another gesture that you're taught, or that you taught your dog. It could be anything basically. But if you wanted to now have a different cue for the dog to perform the behavior, how should you teach that? And this is what this game is about. It's about how to teach a new cue to replace the old cue that you used. Let's say you no longer like to do this, or you don't want to say down, you want to say pineapple. I don't care what you want to substitute the cue with, but it needs to be practical, of course, not going to Mars as a cue. That doesn't work. It has to be something tangible, but it has to be something tangible that will be the new cue for your dog, something that the dog can perceive. For example, for my dog, I taught my dog that the new cue would be me breathing. For example, breathing means a dog lies down. I taught that using a very, very simple process that I'm going to share with you tonight or today. Depends where you're watching this from. So, and why did I teach that to my dog? As a side note, I taught her because sometimes I'm in conversation with someone or I'm listening to a teacher. Like let's say I'm doing a class, like a dog sports class or something, and I wanted my dog to lie down without me saying, hey, lie down, or gesturing or anything. I just wanted to be very invisible, to give attention to the person who is speaking, for example. So I just have this very, very invisible, magical cue that just me and my dog will know, something super secret. So, and dog like, ooh, and then no one actually knows that I cued my dog. So I think that's super fun. I can have like invisible cues. It's pretty cool. But there are some really practical uses of this. And I wanted to watch until the end so you can see how this can be mind-blowing. This can be this can open the doors for you and your dog, so you don't have to cue your dog and be in charge of cueing so many things. The environment can cue your dog to do a bunch of different things. And I'm going to give you examples of that at the end. All right, stick around. Down. Yes. Yes. Now, how do I teach a dog to perform a behavior that is not with the previous cue that the dog knew, so with the old cue? Let's say the old cue is the word down, and the new cue is my breathing, for example. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say the new cue, novel thing, for example, the breathing, followed by the old cue. So down. Then what I'm going to do is to do the new cue, wait 1 second, and then the old cue, down. And then I'm going to wait a little more in between the new cue and the old cue. So new cue, wait, 1, 2, down. And then eventually, new cue, down. What happens next is that the dog starts guessing, every time you breathe, eventually we follow that with the sound down that I do know, and I lie down and I get a cookie. So they start anticipating that the new cue might be followed by the old cue that they know. So the new cue becomes the old cue, becomes the cue for that behavior. Other examples that I use a lot for this are not with a silly, like just breathing and the dog lies down. That's cute. But I use for a lot of like very practical uses. For example, I use environment as a cue for my dog to do something. Let me give you an example. When one of us on the family is cooking and my dog smells food, human food, instead of pestering us, like in following us and begging for food, what she does is like, oh, smell food is now a new cue for me to go to my mat. And she was taught that when she smells food, don't follow us, don't jump on us, don't bark, don't do anything, but go to your mat. That will pay you. And that's what she does. So when we're in the kitchen, she is in her mat without us saying anything, because the environment cue her to go to the mat, not us. We're not babysitting her. It's not that there's nothing wrong with it, but I also like to give some power for the dog to make those really, really smart decisions. Other example could be, I don't know, like if you move your hand like this, you want the dog to spin. It could be anything you like, basically. In my house, because I have 2 toddlers, when my toddlers are running, that's a cue for her to also go to the mat. As you can tell, there are many cues for my dog to go to the mat, because that's, in my house, a very desirable behavior. When we're outside, we're all game, but when we are inside and there's things happening, I want her to go to the mat, and she'll be paid for that eventually. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you can make a game. I would like you guys, if you would like to choose a new cue for a behavior that your dog already knows. For example, if your dog knows how to sit, can you, I don't know, for example, if you pick up the leash and you're about to leash up your dog, can you teach the dog that you showing the leash to leash up is a cue for sit? For example, how would you teach that? Very simple. You're going, for example, to new cue, show the leash, followed immediately by the cue sit. It could be the gesture sit, could be the word sit, whatever you guys use. So leash showing, sit, and then leash showing, a little bit of a delay, sit, leash showing, sit, etc. Until you show the leash and the dog is like, I better sit. I think she's going to ask sit now. And then, yes, I do. If the dog can't perform, we're going to help the dog and cue it anyway. And that's fine. The dog just needs a few more reps. But in any case, you should be doing this as long as the dog is successful. If you give the new cue, you wait 1 second, and you expect the dog now to know it, the dog won't. You have to follow the little recipe so the dog is able to start thinking and processing with repetitions what you're going to ask next. I hope that makes sense. I hope you can come up with a fun game, and I hope to see videos if you guys did come up with a thing. Thank you. Bye.